With more Red Storm here in September. And like I said, I'm going to cover the rule book in little chunks. And I kind of want to go over today anti-aircraft artillery, not SAMs, not radar AA, but just installations. Which at the beginning of the game, the Warsaw Pact player might get some upgrade points in this scenario. He can take these upgrade points to update these little spots on the map here. For example, here's Nordhausen in East Germany, 1987. Imagine, if you will. It has a little L on it. If you look at your map, okay, that's light AAA installation way over there. See that? Okay. That means there is a light AAA installation there at that airfield, which makes sense, you know. I'm not sure how close we are to the border. I can't really see it. Anyway, I folded the map over, so I can't really tell where I am. Anyway, so there's an installation here, and let's just pretend that the Warsaw Pact player got some points, spent the points to upgrade it from light to medium. All right. Now you can turn these, so right now we're going to pretend it's inactive. You can activate these. There's a couple of phases where you can activate them. The radar phase, which is at the end of a scenario setup. So before you even start playing, you set up the scenario, you can say, I want to activate that. There's an admin phase where you can flip it. When a flight enters a hex next to it, it becomes active. And when a flight expends movement point while adjacent to it, it also becomes active. Now, what is the activation? What's the area around here? Well, flak concentration, as they call it, extends and creates a barrage area, a flak barrage zone into its hex and all adjacent hexes. So kind of like a ZOC, an enemy zone of control. So what we're going to simulate here is, this is not turned on. What we're going to simulate is a bad thing happened to Cobra flight here. What we're going to simulate is the end of aerial combat with a scatter that's going to scatter this unit into this hex, thus activating this barrage unit and subjecting him to a flak attack. And it's medium, it's been upgraded. And that way I can show you the most basic flak barrage thing that can happen to you. And this can happen. You can literally, after a dogfight, you're going to scatter and it's randomly picked, and we're going to say it goes this way and has an effect of lowering the altitude also. This can all happen in the game, which is crazy stuff. And later on I'll do mobile radar, the AAA, and SAMs and stuff like that. It gets really complicated, but I just wanted to show the most basic thing, because you might be looking at the map and you might be going, what the hell, what's this? I will explain it to you. So just pretend that's been upgraded at the beginning of the game. It's not active. And let's follow through on this and see what happens to this Cobra flight. Now I have added Cobra flight that now consists of, now we built this out last video, the flight log. Cobra flight is now 2 F-15As with regular pilots with a -2 aggression, which isn't very good. And I rolled for the ammo. We're going to keep everything else, but we added a plane to the flight here. So we got 2 F-15s. All right, so let's see what happens. All right, so bear with me here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to say that this the dogfight's over and there's a scatter result. Following standard air-to-air combat, which I'll show you guys later, each flight rolls 1 die for scatter. Turn and move the flight in the direction indicated. If the roll is odd, the flight descends an altitude band. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that, oh boy, we got a 7. So you're gonna be going up this way, and it's odd. So we're going to drop an altitude level. Now, of course, anyone with common sense knows that flak barrages, the lower altitude you are, the more you're going to get blasted. So a bad thing's happened here. He's scattered. You have to turn and face the hex. Turn and move the flight to the indicated hex. So now it says turn and move it. I'm going to say it goes turn and move it toward. So I think it's going to go that way. So it does say turn, it doesn't say side slip. Then it's odd, and that's going to knock us down to low altitude. Oh, well, that's the wrong marker. It's going to knock us down to low altitude, and oh boy, that's bad news. Because now this is going to activate, and he will now be subject to some flak attack. Okay, when a flight enters a hex adjacent to the concentration, doesn't matter how he entered it, it's going to become active. And once it's active, they cannot become inactive. This is going to flip over, and oh, what a surprise, it's been upgraded to medium. Yikes. Okay. Now remember, they actually point out that it projects and you can roll a barrage attack on a flight immediately each time the following applies, and right on A here. See if I can get this on the camera. Right on A, you will see enters a hex and barrage zone via movement, scatter, or SAM avoidance. Okay, and that's what just occurred. So I set this up, and now they're going to get shot at. So how do you resolve this? You're going to resolve by rolling 2 dice on the AA table using the column for the density of the AA being projected into that hex, and cross-referencing this with the flight's altitude. All right, the density is medium, and we're going to look for our little flak attack, which happens to be on the movement chart handout here. Player aid card 1. We're going to be looking at medium being projected and low. All right, here. Okay, so 15 or higher and some bad stuff's going to happen. That is a barrage hit. So remember here, medium, low altitude, greater than 15. The barrage has hit. Oddly enough, there's no mods on that table, which is weird. There are some mods on a bombing run, air to ground attack. Nope, nothing there. Okay, so nothing affects that. But we got a hit. What happens when you get a hit? Well, you're going to roll for damage on the barrage column of the AAA damage table, and there are some modifiers for this. So we go to this table, and we're going to be rolling, and these double letters means that something happens to 2 planes in the flight. This can be bad. A K, by the way, is a shot down aircraft. Modifiers. Yeah, we're medium. That's +1. Target speed. Now, I scattered into the hex, and I'm going to say that my speed currently is undefined. It's less than 2, right? I don't think you keep your speed from before, and I couldn't find anything in scatter saying that your speed stays the same as what you assign to it, I think. I mean, I scattered, so I got to think I'm equal to or less than 2. If that's wrong, let me know, but I'm going to give it +1. So we're looking at a +2 to the die roll, because technically my speed is like, I don't have a speed. I just got out of combat. So if anyone knows if that does not take effect, let me know. All right, we're going to roll on the table. Now, I'll do this as a live roll. I won't cheat on this one. We're going to add 2 to this. And we got a 10 + 2 is 12. And we got barrage. Die roll 12. No effect, really. Interesting. I got off lucky there. Let's roll again and see if we can force something to happen. 13, 15. There's a K. All right. So let's pretend we lost the plane. Okay, K. A K is shoots down 1 aircraft. All right, so we're going to lose a plane here. And when this happens, you got to go to 12.2. Shot down aircraft are removed from the flight. If all the aircraft in the flight are shot down, the flight is eliminated. Okay. The flight's remaining air-to-ground ordnance is adjusted to reflect the loss of the aircraft. Shot down aircraft may generate bailed-out crew members. Okay, let's do a bailed-out crew member. All right, so we lost a plane here. Now, normally you'd, you want to go up here, and we're going to be marking off one of these. He's gone, right? Okay, I haven't actually done this rule, but let's try to see. This video is almost over. This is a short example of just a basic concentration of enemy flak, but let's try generating a bailed out crew member. All right, we're gonna go all the way to the back of the book to 26.1. And let me just stop by 16.22 real quick. There's a lot of systems in this game. Okay, shot down aircraft. When a flight loses an aircraft due to a shot down result, adjust the flight's log sheet to reflect the loss of the shot down aircraft's air to ground ordnance. I don't have any air to ground ordnance that I know of on that. Okay, let's go to crew members. Now, I have not read any of these rules, so you'll learn with me here. Let's see what happens. All right, 26.1 bailouts. Let's see if we can save this guy. He's had a rough day, not good. All right, if a plane is shot down on a roll a die for each crew member, we only have one. I think. Let me just double check. Make sure I got that right. I believe the F-15 Eagle crew 1. Okay, no co-pilot. Right, there's definitely no goose in this one. On a roll of 4 or less, the crew member fails to survive. Come on. 5. 5 or more, the crew member bails out and a parachute marker is placed on the map. Place the marker in the same hex as the flight of the lost aircraft. And there you go. All right. Woo, at least he survived. Parachute. There you go. If the flight is on a hex side when lost, place the marker in either hex. Okay, so if he was on a hex side and he got shot down, I could have gone over, picked a hex. Let's see what happens to him. If the bailout roll is 10, it was not, the crew member flies some distance before bailing out. This game is awesome. Roll a die and move the marker that number of hexes away from the flight. The final hex occupied by the parachute marker is the hex the crew lands in. Okay, that's cool. It takes a number of game turns before the parachute crew lands. Bailouts from deck altitude land at the same turn. Bailouts from low or high take 2 turns. After the turns, flip the marker to the crew size in the admin phase. Crew markers never move and are removed from the map only via rescue or capture. So 2 turns from now, this will flip over. And they had this in Vietnam, downtown. That will come on. But boy, I tell you, he's got to not like landing in that spot. I mean, right by Nord, I think we might have a POW here. Okay, simple, and you can also automatic rescue capture. If the crew marker lands on the friendly side of the front, he's automatically rescued. If it lands on the enemy side and is in an urban road or airfield or hex occupied by enemy ground AAA, it is immediately captured. Whew. Yikes. All right, looking, may have made that. So again, fascinating system. This is just a sample of the cool things you can do in this game. All right, we're learning. That's just flak concentration and what happens when a pilot has a bad day, okay? I'm not sure if there's a morale or anything like that. I don't think there's a morale roll with the loss of that plane on a flak barrage as far as I know. Let me just double check. Okay, I don't see anything in there. And let me check morale and make sure that there's not some sort of rule. Splitting fights, multiple attacks, post-combat. All right, I think we're good. Post-combat, okay. All right, well, that's it for this video. This is going to be a short one. Like I said, I'm going to break this rule book down, but I just thought this was fascinating, and what I wanted that to exactly happen so you could see the crew bailout and everything like that. Remember, this would take 2 turns. All right, thanks for watching.